welcome to another night at the Theatah. I'm Cel Saga.
I'm
Fleetscut.
And today we're going to talk about Robocop, the 2014 remake. So let's just jump right into it. What do you guys think?
Oh, man. I fucking... I loved this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun with the action sequences. There's a lot of talking. I'm going to get to that, but it's a great action movie, and the talky bits are well put together. They run a little bit long, but honestly, great. Good movie. Good movie.
I thought the story was a little bit too simple.
Yeah.
Just there wasn't very a lot of motivation for that, but I think that helped the movie.
It was a little on the tropey side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of things where you kind of wish it would show Murphy emote more or get into a little more of the struggle between man and machine. It didn't really go really deep into that, but I think it helped the movie overall because it would have taken because it's already a 2-hour movie, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a thematic reversal. I mean, the original Robocop was about a machine finding humanity. This is about a human trying to deal with the machine.
Yeah, he's trying to overcome the side of it.
Yeah.
I think we should say now we've all seen the original Robocop, right?
Yeah, I saw it a long time ago. But I can remember most of it.
I rewatched it recently,
and
I'd like to point this out. I consider it to be one of the more perfect action movies. Every beat is right. It gets in, it's out. It's a short movie, actually, more than most people think. It's not too. It's only I think it's only 90 minutes. The original Robocop.
Well, that was like 1980s running.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that actually helps it a lot in the sense that it gets in, it gets out, it gets what it needs to be done.
Yeah.
So sorry, just to compare it now. I did like the new Robocop. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be shit. I really did. I'm not just talking about, everyone was, bitching and moaning about the costume. I'll get to that later. I just thought it was going to be shit because, it's Robocop remake. Who cares? But I saw it, and I was pleasantly surprised. The biggest factor I liked about it was trying to tell its own story.
Yeah. Let's go a little bit over that right now. So, spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this review, of course.
Spoilers.
But, okay, so the basic story it's not... The Murphy side of things is nothing that you've never seen before. It's your standard urban cop, buddy partner gets hurt, tries to get revenge, winds up getting horribly injured in an explosion after one of the more awkward sex scenes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Explain the sex scene, Paul. Go into detail.
It's not even a sex scene. It's okay. This is one of my problems. I don't buy into the relationship between Murphy and his wife in this story.
Time out. The wife was the worst part of the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, it was a little forced, the whole...
Yeah.
Certainly. Way too forced. This goes with what I'm saying. In this scene, he comes home and he talks to his kid, he's, having his moment, and they have that trailer shot where he's like, oh, too slow, kid, I'm gonna kiss her first, and you're gonna go to fucking bed. But then he takes her into the bedroom, and there's no score to this. There's absolutely no score. It's just dead silence, awkward kissing, awkward touching, awkward grabbing. I left the car alarm on. God damn it, I gotta go.
No, it wasn't even that. It's just the car alarm goes off and it's like, God, I thought I fixed that problem.
Exactly, but the scene was crying for something to interrupt this.
Yeah. It's oh, stop.
I kind of feel like the two actors didn't like each other all that much, during production.
You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense in context of whenever this woman is saying, I want to see my husband, I'm like, no, you don't.
I want to see my husband. I want to see him now. I will not rest until, God damn it, woman.
You know what I thought would have been so much better if the wife wasn't a factor in this? The wife was either killed before the movie started or was even killed in, the same... shooting or accident or whatever. It was just him and his son. Because I honestly thought the dynamic between him and his son was better.
I think they should have explained it more off as when he died, just lie to her and tell them that he's dead. And
which is actually, if you remember from the original Robocop, the wife and son aren't in the original that much. He has memories of them, but then he looks them up. She moved on because she thought he was dead.
Yeah, they should have gone with that.
But we can't do that because Robocop, if he doesn't get a woman at the end, he's gay.
Yep.
Don't you know?
Of course.
Oh God,
gotta have that.
You
gotta have the fucking love interest.
You gotta...
Does anyone buy this shit anymore? Really? I don't know. But Sorry, we did say we liked the movie.
Yeah.
I should say something I really liked. Two things. One, I don't. You guys might have noticed this more. This was a very well edited movie.
Yeah.
Yes, the action.
It was very well cut together.
Are fantastic. They are enormously well put together.
I was so glad they didn't just blow their wad every time. It wasn't.
No.
I really like that RoboCop. Like he's efficient, but he's not like doing backflips going.
Yeah.
He one shot.
The most extreme one was like maybe like a shot over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Or it's like that. You know, kind of like
Can I just say that the thing that made this movie for me, and it's one of my favorite scenes in this movie, it's when Murphy is going through his first training session.
Is it the song?
Yes, and Rorschach.
Rorschach is in this movie, and by the way, other than Gary Oldman, I think he's the best thing about this movie.
He really is really good in this. He's the most likable douche in the entire thing, and he's just like, hey, while we're doing this training session with this machine I don't believe in, let's put on some music. When a man's an empty kettle, it should be all his metal, and yet I'm torn apart.
Just like the Tin Man song.
They keep calling him Tin Man, and I liked that. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, like it adds to the world of it, and also I don't remember at all. Maybe from the original, did they ever refer to him as Tin Man in the original?
I don't
think they did. So I like that they added something
Yeah.
to it. Just like, hey, this is the Tin Man, and so that's something I think we should talk about is the cast in this movie, which I really like. Gary Oldman, who is one of my favorite actors ever, he was really good at this.
Yeah. Never before have I seen, like, you don't see, like, okay, you see a lot of fall of good men stories. I mean, you got your Walter Whites, and you got all those anti-heroes and stuff like that. This is a guy who makes his living using his knowledge of robotics to create prosthetics, and this is the person that they got to build Robocop.
Which
this was a guy.
Such a good idea.
He makes these prosthetics, and there's a lot of really cool themes in this movie because at the very beginning, when we were first meeting Gary Oldman, I think this is one of the best introductory scenes I've seen in a long time, and it really just hammers forward that technology isn't everything theme that they're trying to put forward in here. It's the scene where he's giving this guy who's lost his limbs mechanical hands so that he can play the guitar again, and he's playing and playing and playing, and the emotional response from his brain fucks up the mechanisms and the thing, and the guy just looks at him and says, I'm sorry, I need emotion to play.
Well, no, first he tells him to try and control his emotions, right? Because the emotions, and then he goes, no, I can't. I actually need those emotions because that's
where music comes. Music doesn't come from your head; it comes from your heart.
Yeah.
That's the corniest fucking thing I've ever said, but still,
it was a little on the corny side, but I thought it really, I thought it was a really touching little scene.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
Other cast, I really liked Michael Keaton as sort of like the Steve Jobs-esque
when he was
guy.
When he was awake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, but the guy who played Omar in The Wire, he played Murphy's partner in this. He was a small role, but I liked him in it because I thought he his partner.
The media.
It should have been that's
the black guy partner.
Oh no, sorry.
Guy with the scar on his face.
Yeah.
He was okay. What was your favorite line from the movie, Fleets?
Oh no, it was when he walks up and he goes, or when he's talking with Robocop, and then he goes, it's like, at least now you're finally the right color. Because he's all decked out in like this glossy matte black.
Which is like, who wrote that? That movie,
everybody saw it coming. Like Ray Charles could see that coming. Jesus Christ.
So other than actually, that's something I want to get to next. Actually, after I say this, what do you guys think of Samuel as let's be honest, Bill O'Reilly?
He was best Bill O'Reilly. He was the greatest Bill O'Reilly ever. He was better than Bill O'Reilly. If he had a show, I'd watch this guy. Like, I'd make fun of him because, like, you know, liberal, whatever. But honestly, I'd watch this guy.
Yeah.
He's 100 times more entertaining than any Bill O'Reilly show.
I thought there were the nice little homages to all the news scenes from the original. Like, his whole, like, show and, like, he's always cutting off, like, all the liberals and shit. I thought that was good. I guess we should also talk about the guy who played RoboCop. What do you guys think of, like,
He was the
It
best.
was pretty good.
He was the best Channing Tatum impersonator I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's got Channing Tatum in an action movie syndrome.
Yeah.
He is the most charismatic block of wood you've ever seen. It's.
I think he was a little limited because it is Robocop and he's supposed to, there's a
To be fair, he was pretty limited then in his human
It is.
roles.
You're coming with me.
Well,
It's like your move, creep. Monotone stuff.
Maybe it's just because Peter Weller, or like he's just so good as the role of RoboCop that you can't see anyone else in that role.
Yeah.
But this guy did admirable. It wasn't the best thing I've seen. He unfortunately, and this is a problem I find most movies are having these days, the main character isn't the most interesting thing. It always should be.
Yeah.
But he is not the most interesting thing in this movie.
Gary
to me, Gary Oldman is the most interesting thing in this movie. Him and Jackie Earle Haley.
It was with him where the ethical struggle was.
If this had been a movie just about a prosthetic scientist being asked to make weapons for the military,
There's a movie.
There is a movie there. Honestly, this didn't need to be a RoboCop movie. I'm happy that it was. It was a good RoboCop movie.
You know what? That's the thing. Like I was saying, this is probably the best we could have hoped for.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was pleasantly surprised because it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Something here was the big controversial thing when this movie, like the posters first came out for this thing.
Yeah.
Was the whole, why does RoboCop have black armor? Okay, this needs to be settled once and for all. People, I love the original armor. It's awesome looking. However, the original armor is a product of its time, the 80s. Everything in the 80s was silver and shiny and awesome. It's the 2010s now. Guess what? It's got to be sleek and sexy and black.
I love the excuse they gave.
Yeah, no, they actually
changing because
tactical. Make it tactical.
Not even that, because before, when that whole thing was going on, they released I think it was a trailer or something where they had a focus group of criminals, and they showed them the 80s version of RoboCop, and it's and they're all just putting it down and making fun of it.
I think that was the funniest thing though when they show I guess it was the one from the cartoon or maybe even the third RoboCop movie where it has all the lights going and that was the dumbest fucking thing ever.
He transforms. The kids are gonna love it. What the fuck is wrong with you, Trotsky?
That was awesome. Jesus. But to what I have to say about the suit is I myself thought it was a cool design. My only problem is, now maybe this is just because they did slim it down, it didn't look like a robot. A robot. I overpronounced it. A robot. It looked like body armor to me.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't compute.
He does call it a suit every once in a while.
Yeah, but and it does, however, that suit does feature the greatest piece of schlock I've seen in a movie in a while, and I love it. It's there's a part in this movie where he's all on his rack, he's getting primed up, and he goes, "Show me what's left."
Don't you dare insult that scene.
No. Here's what I'm saying. I love it because it was creepy. It was. What it is, they remove his arm, then his leg, then his other leg, his torso, and in the end, it turns out that all that is left is his head, his brain, and a bit of his respiratory system. Yeah. And he goes, "My God, there's nothing left." And and his hand. And his hand. Which, give me a second on that one. Yeah. And all I could think of was, this is a movie from the 50s now. They saved Hitler's brain.
I looked at that scene and that became my favorite.
It's a very well-looking scene. Hold on, sorry. It just, to me, it borders on 50s science fiction. It looks cool, but it also brought up a really weird point for me. Like I said, all that's left is this and his hand, not his arm and shoulder, just the hand. Yeah. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
What did they put that in for? That
was the first thing I noticed, is when the arm comes off, it's the hand is still there.
What is that attached to?
And you see that weird little thing. Is that supposed to be part of his skeleton or something? It's no, that's just something attached to the...
There's something I think they lost in editing. I'm sure, when we get this on DVD, there's a scene where it's why'd you leave my hand? You need it for a couple of reasons. One, They could have been, oh, our gun is, we decided to James Bond it up. It's only for your
DNA
fingerprints.
yeah.
That sort of thing. That'd be fine. Explain
Yeah.
that. 2, we need it for hand registration, like at the doors or something. Or they could have said, we need you to shake people's hands.
That's what I thought it was, because he actually shakes Michael Keaton's hand.
Which, you can put in, but come on, guys, explain why you saved the hand.
Yeah.
Not the arm, the hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when he was on his hospital bed, his arm and his leg, with his right arm and leg were still fine.
I will admit, like I said, as much as I did find that scene schlocky and like me personally, I was thinking like those old 50 movies. It was a very well done scene. It was creepy, actually.
I found it intense.
It was good. It was good. I'm just in different places when I see a movie.
Well, I love 1950s schlocky sci-fi, but I always
Are
like.
you telling me you didn't see like a mad scientist going over that body, going, "We will make it, Igor. Fetch me his hand. Yes, master." But then the hand starts moving on its own and chokes Igor.
Yes.
If that had been in the movie.
No, what I saw was a person who was being pulled apart right in front of his face.
That was a very well done.
Just how little of him.
You know, though, if this movie had been made in like the 90s or maybe even early 2000s, there would have been a scene where he takes his hand off and he can still somehow move it. And starts typing shit out like to open the doors.
Into the story at some point too.
That would have been amazing.
Okay, you know what? Ash Williams needs to be Robocop.
Yes. No.
I think that's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, do that. Put Bruce Campbell in everything, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love that scene. Again, touching back onto Gary Oldman, performance in terms of this, as we said, fan-fucking-tastic. And like I said, just so many layers to this character, because he's very much on the side of the family, and he's very much on the side of Murphy.
Yeah.
He sees all of the bullshit going on around him, and he's still going on about it because he wants to legitimately help Murphy.
Yeah.
He's not trying to help Keaton in this. He's getting money for his research, and that's all well and good, and that's sort of his, like, Faustian deal sort of thing.
Yeah, he needs to do it so he can help these other people.
He's the only ethical, like, ground point in the whole movie.
Oh, absolutely.
See, there was no one else preaching he is a person as more than he is, or, well, not so much any more than he is a robot now.
I feel like, now, like I said, we do like this movie, but we did mention, I feel like we have been praising this a little too much. I think we need to dip our toes into what was wrong with the movie.
Yeah.
Pacing. No, not a well-paced movie at all. This is a
pacing. Like I said, there's a lot of talky bits, and I'm all for talky bits. Don't get me wrong. I find movies where they just explode all over the place and it's just action scene after action scene tedious. They've got their place, they've got their time. I enjoy them at certain times.
You need a little bit
of
exposition at least.
I like some meat. This movie has way too much meat.
It's grandma's meatloaf.
It's to the point where it's a 2-hour movie, and like he said, the original was an hour and a half, and that extra half an hour, rather than throwing in some more bitchin' action sequences, which, as I said, were fantastic, were mostly talky bits. And as much as I love the fact that they centered on Gary Oldman, I was just sitting there going, okay, guys, this is a Robocop movie, come on.
Can we have Robocop in this?
But then they gave me him fighting a fleet of N209s at the end, and I was like,
I think because it's such a shallow plot, like, it's just so simple, that all the emotional part and, like, all the talking, it just kind of, just makes it stick out even more.
Yeah.
How they don't really go into the struggle between man and machine, and...
Something I didn't get and not really was, why was Michael Keaton the villain in this?
I felt like all of his scenes weren't needed.
No, they could have been needed. You could have played him off as the eccentric billionaire that's like, oh no, make it black. Like maybe he's the cause of why bad things are happening, but he himself isn't evil. Like, at the end, he just sort of... It's like, I'm holding your wife and son hostage. Why? What is the... what?
I found it a little confusing, the connection between the villain from the first 2/3 of the movie and then Michael Keaton at the end. I was like, so we're after Michael Keaton now?
He's like, you're now suspected of the murder of a cop. I'm like, where did you connect that?
And also, therein lies, I guess, the biggest problem with this movie. In the original Robocop, and I'm a bastard for not remembering their names, but the villains were so interesting. You had the sleazy businessman who it was Ronnie Cox who played the original bad guy, right?
I can't remember.
The guy who gets thrown out the window.
Oh, that.
Yeah. And Red Foreman.
Yeah.
And Red Foreman is such a bastard in the original Robocop. You love it when Robocop is throwing him through windows.
Yeah.
And, see, I'm not the biggest fan of like when a good guy like just beats the living shit out of a bad guy for no reason.
I'm sorry.
But that was an amazing scene where he's just throwing him through windows and just at the end he just stabs him in the neck.
Can I just say right now that every single time I watch the scene where like Murphy is literally getting shot apart, I always just throw in little dumbass. After when he's on the ground, I'm just like dumbass.
And you can like imagine him trying to stick his foot in his ass or something like that.
I see you again. I'll make you wear your ass for a hat. You're gonna have an ass hat.
Dumbass.
Oh, that's bad. And here's the thing about this movie versus the original movie. Since we're talking about the original movie and comparing the use of gore, I'm just gonna say right now, these, like I said, the action scenes are very overblown. They're not stupid. They're not like crazy stupid. They know how to keep their tone well, and they're well shot. Those freaking intense action scenes and gore scenes in the original movie, those are the exact opposite side of the spectrum in terms of what we're talking about in terms of gore filmmaking.
There is no gore in the new one.
No,
It's just freaking practicals, and it's just freaking like how to shoot someone getting horribly murdered 101.
What you can take away from this entire thing at the end of the day is, even if you say, no, these guys are stupid, you shouldn't go see the remake, or, oh, we're going to go see at the end of the day, go watch the old Robocop. Do that no matter what.
Do it! Yeah. Like, it's a classic. And this movie, in and of itself, deserves a little greatness.
It does.
I mean, it's not going to be a classic.
No, by any sense.
No,
This, unfortunately, I hope that it does get a little bit more remembered than, say, the Total Recall remake.
This should be hailed as one of the good remakes. This should be hailed as one of the good remakes.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is good.
Yeah.
Like, the only, problem, sorry, not problem. The thing I liked the most, I think I said this earlier, was they tried to do something different. They tried to make their own movie featuring Robocop.
Yeah.
There was its own little thing, and... You know, is it going to live up to the original movie? Of course not.
No, of course.
Like, Paul Verhoeven made such an amazing piece of satire back in the day, which I think, unfortunately, was missing from this one, too. That's another negative point. There's no satire in it. Well, kind of with the Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. But other than that...
I'd say they mistook satire for, hey, look, everybody, we're America bashing!
Yeah.
That's not satire. That's
just
you're
playing
on
to
the
the times.
cusp of satire. With the whole Bill O'Reilly thing, yeah, you're on the cusp of satire. It's not satire that we've never seen before, so it's not very impactful.
You know,
satire.
it's funny though. I was waiting though for the moments when, like, because you know they got to put those certain lines in, like "Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Your move, creep." And I knew those lines were gonna be there. They were on the fucking poster. But the one line I was waiting for, and they put it in, not exactly, but they put it in was, "I'd buy that for $1."
Oh yeah.
But they worked it in, but they changed it. I wouldn't buy that for $1. Oh, bravo, sir, bravo.
Because he doesn't have faith in a man in a machine.
It's just like, what the fuck?
Oh, Jesus, man. The scoring in this movie was really cool, too.
The score?
Yeah.
I liked it, but didn't you find the use of the original theme a little daunting? It's just like...
I was okay with it. I couldn't find a piece of music in this movie that I thought was ill.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just thought it was weird to have... Maybe it's just because the music, you know, the dun 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 dun, that just is so 80s. That, like, just to hear it here was weird. It's like, and that's always what I've always, like, kind of worried about with, like, newer movies using older music, which, like, just off topic here, but I'm so fucking glad that John Williams' score was not in Man of Steel.
I actually liked the new score they had.
No, the new one was good, too. It just was, to me, when I heard the old one, I'm like, whoa, tone change.
Yeah, you gotta have it fit the tone.
Something of a personal note here, this is just for me. I liked, though, seeing, because this was filmed in Toronto, I noticed all the signs for Toronto streets, but funniest thing was, when this was filming, this was like a year ago, right? When this was filming, I was shooting a commercial for the company I worked with at the time, and across the street they were shooting Robocop. And so, like, after they were done shooting, I didn't see the suit or anything. I think it was just like a walking scene outside of a street. It was like as soon as I went to the door and there was a sign, Omnicorp officers coming here, like it was just like one of the in the background things, and that was just it was like, oh, that's when I knew they were making. That's how I found out they were remaking Robocop. I walked onto the set.
Wasn't the building at the end, like the Omnicorp building, when he burst into the window in the motorcycle? Wasn't that like the Sony? Sorry, not the Sony Center. There's the museum on Dundas. Wasn't it
the ROM?
No, on Dundas.
Art Gallery of Ontario.
I think
May might have been that. It might be that. Yeah.
Because I think it might have been that. I'm not sure.
I think where I was shooting was Spadina, but we're getting off topic now.
Okay. Themes. The themes in this movie are completely reversed from the original.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, I touched on that a little bit. This is not a machine trying to find humanity. This is a triumph of the human will story.
Yeah.
This is the story of a man put into a robot who needs to re-find his humanity. Or
to at least fight for control over it.
Because he loses his humanity for a little bit, because they can turn off his emotions. And there is a small part of this movie in which he is actually Robocop. But it's played off as a bad thing.
I actually liked it, though, how he started off in full
he
control.
wanted to.
He didn't just start off, like all robot.
Although I gotta say, that had to be the dumbest decision by Gary Oldman in this movie, because like the whole thing is they got to put like 8,000 inputs into his mind. They do this right before he's about to be introduced to the public.
Yeah,
exactly. It was like the dumbest fucking thing. It's like no, okay. Let's say you have to put in all 8,000 at the same time. Okay, why would you do this before he's about to go see the mayor?
Yeah, because the whole thing's going on outside the building, and they're like downloading all of this crime data into him. Just like.
You know what's something
I didn't have that before?
No. See, here was the thing I thought they were gonna do though, and I think that's what made the movie better. But unfortunately, I guess the writer wasn't as smart as me. I'm sorry. Okay, it's that scene right after he gets all the shit downloaded into his head, and he's looking at the crowd. He's looking at all the he's not like listening to what the mayor's saying. He's looking at the faces, and there's that guy, the criminal.
Yeah.
I thought what the turn of that was, that criminal was planted there as a test, so they could show off. But no, he just happened to be there.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been cool.
I thought that'd be kind of weird. This guy who's been on the run for
it comes to a police thing.
Yeah, I was like, why?
See, and they even play that up too.
Yeah,
this man was surrounded by 12 of Detroit's finest.
Yeah,
Robocop saw him in 12 seconds. I really thought that was going to be like, oh, they planted him there.
I think that's what they were like leading towards.
But then they didn't do it.
I know they didn't do it. It didn't happen.
It might have been something cut out. You never know.
It may be a deleted scene. Like honestly, that does sound like something that would happen, because I really do feel as though Samuel L. Jackson's character in this thing is a freaking Omnicorp employee.
He's
just sucking Omnicorp.
See, that's what I thought was when you see that shot of his studio. I half expected Michael Keaton to walk out of the door like this was being filmed in Omnicorp.
In the Omnicorp building.
It made me think of the Prothero stuff from V for Vendetta.
That
that stuff, and I really wanted there to be that connection there, because I thought that would be really, really good, because as I said, I loved Samuel L. Jackson in this. I think he's a great sort of Greek chorus sort of character. I think he'd make an even better villain in this movie. Honestly, I think he'd make an even better villain.
I love how he just loses his cool at the end, right?
Yeah.
He starts swearing and they bleep it out.
He's still trying to justify, what Omnicorp did, even though, it's clearly...
Exactly. That's just propaganda.
Yeah,
he's a propaganda artist. But it's very much the news controls the truth sort of thing. But the whole idea that I was trying to put forward is it's a complete reversal of the themes, and when they do get to the original themes of the film and they take away his emotions and they just make him a crime computer, it's played off as a bad thing.
Yeah.
And they just have this thing where he just goes through his entire murder, and he's driving around on his little motorcycle like a fucking Kamen Rider, and he's solving his own murder, and it's this whole triumph of the human will thing that I'm just so fucking tired of. It really rubbed me the wrong way, because they just really, really needed to have those personality traits just come back. Whereas in the original RoboCop, he was still RoboCop. He just had that little bit of Murphy in him that gave him that human edge that made him a hero that could be looked up to. This is a guy put in a suit who, in the end, is just a guy.
Yeah, and he was just being dicked around the whole time.
Yeah, and in the end, he's still just a guy. He's a cop with robot stuff. He's not Robocop.
He is Cyborg Man.
Yes, he is Cyborg Police Officer Man.
Well, no, as you put it, he is Kamen Rider Kapu.
Yes, Kamen Rider Kapu. Or Cyber Bobby.
Cyber.
Yes. Cyber Bobby. I am Cyber Bobby. Dead or alive, please come with me.
And then when the helmet comes down, it's actually, like the big hat.
Henshin!
His henshin is like he takes his gun out of his leg. Henshin!
Oh god, he's the end. Yeah, so we're not going to be talking anymore about Kamen Rider anymore, but...
I think, to end this, I think we...
That's my biggest gripe, you guys. Like, that is my biggest gripe.
This actually leads into what I was going to say. Between us now, what would you say is the thing that you felt this movie was missing? Then we'll give our final thoughts. Like,
Okay.
what do you think this was missing?
I think it was missing, like, a clear, like, moment where he was fighting the machine. Because, like you said, he drives up to his house, he starts analyzing his crime scene, but it doesn't really show, like, a proper struggle of him, and between him and his programming.
Yeah.
Like, you never see that clear line where he just tries to push past it. It just kind of happens.
See, the thing I think this movie was missing, other than the satire, but that goes without saying, it was never going to be that satirical, and the gore, which I knew was not going to be in the movie anyway. Okay, this is going to sound weird. I would have liked a few comedic moments. I would have loved it,
A few more, because there were
a little, but they were too, like, I would have loved to have seen a scene where, like, this is when he's still human, where he goes home, and he, like, he's trying to, like, adjust with his new family, he sits in a chair and it breaks, because now he's, like, all steel.
Yeah.
Or a scene where, like, I'm itchy, how can you be itchy? You don't have skin, like, that sort of,
they do mention
to give it a little bit more,
pain thing.
the phantom pains, but I think that just that would have given it a little bit more humanity. That's what I think the movie was missing on.
I think the movie was missing basic human relationships.
Yeah.
Like we said,
lack of chemistry.
There is. Oh my god!
I don't know why you casted that lady. Like she's so flat.
Yeah.
And I don't mean her chest. I don't mean that at all. I mean her acting. But God, there was just no chemistry.
No, it just really felt like I said.
Yeah.
I think that she should not have been in the movie. I think
actress cute.
I think if he had been a single dad, I think that would have worked better.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters were underutilized.
Yeah.
I think.
And then the ones that were utilized, they really didn't have any business being.
That freaking kid. That freaking kid.
Which kid?
That, like his
Son,
kid.
the son.
His
Oh, that kid, yeah.
That moment that he was just like, oh my god, my dad's a robot. You want to go watch the hockey games I take?
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, sure. I was like, that's so cool. It's the pure innocence of a child just sitting there be like, my dad's a robot.
That's
Yeah.
Awesome! But, like, I just felt like the relationships in this movie, like, the action was spot on. The themes were reversed, but where they needed to be, they were as spot on as they could be. And just everything other than the fucking chemistry between the people that counted. The people that formed Murphy's sort of character development, because he did he did most of his character development while he was away from his family.
Yeah.
He just, like, he developed most of his character when he was away from them, and yet we're supposed to believe that his wife is so fanatically devoted to him that she's going on this fucking media crusade to fucking see him again. I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Even at the end of the movie, all he really says to his family is get out of the way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he's just there, oh, hi, family, I'm gonna kill the bad
Oh,
guy.
hi. Okay, we should give our final thoughts because this is running.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I say this movie, like I said, I was very pleasantly surprised. I say go see it. Give it a shot. If you're expecting to just hate it, don't go see it because then you already have it in your head. You're not gonna like it, and then you won't like it.
Yeah.
But if you go to this as just it's a fun little action movie featuring some good fight scenes and some cool special effects, and I can't believe we didn't ever mention this. We can't get into it though. The Ed 209s looked great in this. Like I was blown away how good they looked and how they moved and everything. So let's even not spoil that. Go see it just to see the Eds. Then you're good.
The Eds are cool.
Anyway, so the movie, yeah, go see it. It's a cool little movie. If you like acting, you're going to get it from Gary Oldman. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
If you like a badass, you're going to get it from Jackie Earle Haley. Unfortunately, you're not getting it from Robocop, but he does have his moments. So
Yeah.
I say go see it if you want to have a bit of fun, and you may be pleasantly surprised like me.
I agree. I think people should go see it. I even think that people who are staunchly against going to go see it should probably go see it, because honestly, it's a lesson in the fact that the things that we are nostalgic for, they are at least learning to handle them with a little respect.
Yeah.
Like, they're starting to see the backlash that people are giving to these horrible, horrible remakes that are just tromping on our childhoods. And I think they're finally starting to just begrudgingly saying, alright, fine, if you fucking whining nerds are gonna get so up in arms about it, then fine, we'll make a good movie if you want.
It was said on The Critic, if the movie stinks, just don't go. This is a step in the right direction.
Vote with your wallet.
It is. Like,
Which I really think was started by Evil Dead, which we'll talk about probably not another time.
No, I might, but no.
Anyways.
Yeah, just go see it. It's worth seeing.
It will, not completely, but it will begin sliding that stick out of your ass that remakes have been doing lately.
I wouldn't say it's worth going on a night that's not half price Tuesday.
Yeah, go Tuesday.
Yeah, go Tuesday.
To our Canadian fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least, use one of those free coupons or something.
Yeah, or if you got like 1,000, if you got scene points.
That's what I use.
Go see it. It's really...
You guys know we just basically said, go see it, but don't pay for it.
Well, eventually it does get paid for.
Yeah, anyways, Fleets.
Anyways, yeah, I agree. Go see it. It's definitely worth a watch. To a bunch of those people who are all, butthurt about it not being as good as the original, when I watch a remake, I like to kind of maybe separate myself from the original and see it on its own, because they do try to do new stuff. Like in this one, how Paul said they're using opposite themes for how some of the characters are approached. So yeah.
No matter whether or not it worked, there were things that didn't work. There were things that did work. It was a really valiant effort, you guys.
Yes. Despite how it worked
in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah. It was slow. It was a small step, but it is a step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we should end it there. So anyway,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next time. Let's see how that goes.
We'll see. Anyway, I'm Cel Saga.
I'm Paul.
I'm Fleetscut.
And you know what? I did buy that for $1.